Donald Trump is engaging in direct election interference in Argentina, threatening their working class if they reject Javier Milei.
So we would not be generous with Argentina if that happened. If he loses, we are not going to be generous with Argentina.
Isn't it interesting that the United States have to sanction and overthrow socialist countries to show that they don't work, while bailing out Javier Milei and libertarian capitalism, while threatening their population in order to prove that their ideology works? Javier Milei is a libertarian tech bro who was promoted by Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who became president of Argentina and crashed their economy by implementing libertarian trickle-down economics and austerity. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and his capitalist friends want to promote the failed libertarian economic model. So now they are bailing out Javier Milei in Argentina at the American taxpayers' expense. Where is the bailout for the American working class? How does bailing out Javier Milei in Argentina helps out the American people? It doesn't. This is all about Donald Trump and Elon Musk protecting their ideological project on a continent where socialism becomes more popular every single day. Donald Trump is giving billions of dollars to Argentina, billions of dollars to Israel, billions of dollars to Ukraine, while he leaves the American people to suffer. It becomes clearer every single day that Donald Trump is America last. Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan immediately falls apart as Israel is still murdering Palestinians and they are refusing to allow aid to flow freely. Who could have seen this coming? Israel violating ceasefires is as predictable as the sun rising each day. You have many Israeli officials that are outright saying that they're going to take Gaza and use it as an Israeli settlement. Israel is still carrying out their genocidal ambitions against the Palestinian people. Meanwhile, Western media institutions are largely silent. The UN is calling out Israel for still blocking aid going to Gaza, which is a direct violation of the ceasefire. It is reported that only half the aid that they agreed to let in is flowing into Gaza right now. All the delusional people who truly believe that Israel was going to end their genocidal war against the Palestinian people are going to quickly realize why Hamas and the Palestinian resistance carried out October 7th in the first place. Not only do we have Israel that is blatantly violating the ceasefire, we also have Donald Trump who threatened an American invasion of Gaza if Hamas doesn't disband and disarm.
And they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me? And I spoke to Hamas. And I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm or we will disarm them. Got it?
So essentially, there is no peace deal. Shame on all the sellout Muslim Zionist leaders who forced Hamas to agree to this ridiculous proposal. I will never blame the Palestinian people for seeking hope and peace, but this Gaza peace plan was always doomed to fail. Israel will never stop until we destroy Zionism from within. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm way beyond just free Palestine. I am for justice for Palestine. You guys realize law and order relies on resolution and justice. You can't commit a genocide, killing nearly 1 million Palestinians, call for a ceasefire, wipe your hands and say you're done here. No, sir, we are not done here. Because I don't know about you guys.
What's poppin'? My friends, my family, we're back. Welcome back. Nigga Prime Time. It's great to be back on YouTube. I told you guys that that was much better giving speeches than I am at live streaming. I have that, like, a lot of people are successful doing this because they have that sexy radio voice. I don't have that sexy radio voice. I have that I want a motherfucking revolution right now voice. So it may appear like I'm like yelling and screaming on podcasts, but that's just how I project my voice. It may not always work on live streams, but when you get speeches, that's just fantastic. Much love to the homie Shama Sawan, everyone at Worker Strike Back, everyone I met in the RBA community. There was quite a bit of you guys that saw the speech live, and I'm so upset that you guys didn't see this live speech, because when you watch the video, and I was telling my friend this, I don't know if it's because how the Worker Strike Back like set up their audio engineer, set everything up, but you can't really hear the crowd that much. One of the best things about organizing in real life and giving speeches in real life, which I got a lot of experience in doing, is seeing the reactions of the crowd, because I'm used to essentially spitting fire on my streams, but I don't see any reaction. It's like a stand-up comic giving jokes, but there's no one laughing, and you gotta do this seriously for an hour. Like when you do public speaking, like that audience cheer, it really sets you off. Like that crowd, it was impossible to fail because everyone was excited about the moment, challenging Zionism from outside the two-party duopoly, coming together and wage class war together. Like it was an audience you essentially could not fail at. Because that's why I'm mad. Like watching the videos don't do the speech justice. Because if you watch, I'm like laughing during the speech. I'm like shocked because I'm obviously writing the speech out, but you don't know exactly how the crowd's gonna react. And the crowd was fantastic, man. I'm mad that you guys can't see it on the clip. If you was there, we had a lot of RBN homies that was there. You guys was here. Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm not for everybody. I get very passionate. I got a very loud projection voice, and people accuse me of yelling on stream a lot. I don't feel like I'm yelling. That's just how I talk generally. But it makes for a great speech, man. And I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for my next chance to spread my anti-Zionist message to real working class people, because obviously there was a lot of RBN people there, but there was quite a few like ordinary civilians who are offline as fuck who like, who is this Nick guy? And then they heard my message. I saw I will see their eyes light up, and you don't get that on live stream, man. Like that's why I miss giving speeches. I can't see your guys' eyes. I can see your comments. You guys have great comments. I can see the thumbs up, but it's different when you tell the truth and you see people's eyes light up. When I did that joke about Ben Gvir, when I said if you ask a liberal Zionist what you should do about Israeli war crimes, you will watch them turn to Ben Gvir. Bro, the audience erupted. And that fired me up. But if you watch the video, you can't hear it. It's very frustrating. But let's see if I can fix this. I'm trying to. Oh, there it is. I think this is how I'm gonna do my presentation. Now, how do you switch this up? Oh, there we go. Look at this. I'm learning new tricks. Like that's what Sabi does. Look at this, bro. I'm learning new stuff on the stream. What's poppin', my friends? So we're gonna talk about this failed peace deal first. We still have Rathbone, who will be joining us. The homie Rathbone. It is actually a crime that we haven't done a show together. Like he's done shows with my RBN brother JB Font before, and I was like, all right, I guess that's JB's guess. And I don't know why I haven't invited him on, because we're homies, bro. I fuck with Rathbone. Rathbone triggers the fuck out of Zionists, and he doesn't hold back the same way I do. He don't give a fuck whether people like him or not. I fuck with Rathbone. He's been a friend of RBN for a while. He mostly been on the JB show. I'm glad I'm able to grab him for Nick at prime time. But before I get to the first story, we're going to cover this failed peace deal and how it was always doomed to fail. We're also going to cover Greta Thunberg being sexually assaulted and all the Western feminists who are completely silent as a response to that. But let's get to this peace deal, because as I explained in my speech, and one of the reasons why I'm an enthusiastic endorser of Shama Swan, or anyone who is, Rathbone was on with Rome as well. That's why I never have Rathbone on my show, because he was like Rome's and JB guest. But we are a little bit more decentralized now at RBN, where we got our own channels. We're still a coherent mutual aid organizing network, but we're just a little bit decentralized because I think that's the best way to bypass like algorithmic censorship. And we all have our different channels, have each other on every once in a while. To have JB on. I'm gonna have my brother Rome on. Hopefully, I get my sister Stabby to join me on here very soon. I think that's the best way for RBN to move in the modern era, in this era of social media censorship. And also, since we got a lot of RBN homies, like I met a lot of RBN homies in Seattle. There are a lot of people who want to start their chapters, and I'm like kind of opening up what it means to be a member of RBN. Like I consider my brother Nico. Like Nico House is essentially an RBN member. You know what I mean? We have like the people who organize within Boston RBN with Savvy, the people who organize Orlando Mutual Aid with JB. You're essentially an RBN member. You're essentially RBN. The people you see on my show all the time, Zoya, she's RBN. So like RBN is a movement. It's not just a YouTube channel. It's a left think tank. It's a mutual aid organizing source. And I think left think tank is the best way to describe us. So if you're watching on RBN right now, make sure you subscribe on my personal channel. I will be on RBN only for the first 15 to 20 minutes or so. Let's get to the substance of the conversation. We got Zoya. What's up, Zoya? Zoya's love, Zoya's life. You already know. Zoya's love, Zoya's life. Oh yeah, by the way, since I'm doing all the announcements before our guests get here, great news. It only took us like 2 weeks to hit YouTube monetization on my YouTube channel. So I appreciate all you guys for supporting the alternative RBN outlets. If you're still on the main RBN YouTube channel, you need to move on, man. Watch us on Rumble, watch us on Kick, Twitter, Twitch, and if you have to be on YouTube, watch on my personal channel, man. Because the YouTube channel, not only is it algorithmically dead, it's not even monetized no more. So the RBN channel is not monetized. I'm in the process of getting my channel monetized, but I'm still not going to get paid for quite a bit because the monetization process takes a while. So if you want to support my work, please support me on Patreon. I got the link in the description. Like only $3 a month, $5 a month if you're working class is enough to support my journalism based on how many people watch my show. So I don't want to ask for too much because I still want you guys to donate to mutual aid, but only like $3 to $5 to support your favorite independent media. I would appreciate it. So during my speech, and let's get into our stories here. Essentially, I invited Rathbone on, and we're gonna roast these Zionists because Rathbone, speaking of the devil, I see him join me. Give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready, my brother. He's been like destroying these Zionists. He's been debating these Zionists left and right. So we're gonna have a stream where we break down Zionist talking points. We're essentially gonna be roasting these Zionist fucks who I will be spending the rest of my life exposing. And they made a lifetime enemy out of me. I don't know about you. One of the things I said in my speech where I thought I was gonna get Charlie Kirk. I thought I was going to get Charlie Kirk right there. During my speech, I was like, man, we need a global intifada. Fuck what y'all talking about. Fuck that Zoran Mamdani condemning that shit. No, we need a global intifada right now. And I will be doing that shit till I'm gray and dead. Like, you guys have been fucked up. You guys have been got me fucked up. And I feel like Rathbone has my same energy. I don't know. Maybe that's like the sense I get. So let me introduce my guest here since we have him. We have amazing. I will say citizen journalist, social media influencer, slayer of Zionists. My friend Rathbone. It's great to have you on finally, man.
Yeah, same here, Nick. Thanks for having me. You messaged me, you said let's roast some Zionists. I was like, I'm there. Let's do it.
Yeah. Like if you want to roast Zionists, Rathbone's one of the best of the best. Look at this. I have to show this, man. Look at this. The first super chat on this channel. We just got monetized on my personal channel. It only took 2 weeks. Bro, that's
awesome, man. Congratulations. Good. Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I haven't used my personal account in like forever since I started RBN. But we are starting. We have our own channel. We decentralized an RBN bit. And I was like nervous at first because I'm like, man, that means I'm gonna go like a few months without YouTube paychecks. But we hit our monetization goals in literally 2 weeks. So that's fantastic. I appreciate you guys. And I have to give shout out to Otto because Otto, you officially the first super chat on this channel now. So I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all you guys. Have you been following? Let's get started here. I'm gonna show the clip of you destroying this misfit patriot guy later.
Oh, God,
Because
yeah.
you guys are talking about Hamas and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But first, I want to get your thoughts on the ceasefire deal that is falling apart. The Western media is completely ignoring the fact that it falls apart. Here's the headline, like that I was discussing earlier. You guys know that Israel is such a barbaric country that they don't even allow Palestinians to celebrate. They're tortured.
Yeah.
Palestinian hostages that Israel taken.
Right.
Rathbone, have you been following this? Like we seen Palestinian hostages held by Israel come back with no eyes, with burn scars, with no limbs. What's your thoughts on what's been going on with this peace deal?
Oh, I mean, it's obviously a lopsided thing, completely asymmetrical. They've got tens of thousands of Palestinians they're detaining illegally in Israel. They're basically kidnapped and imprisoned. And I have seen some of the pictures coming back, and I've listened to people that have been following this. And yeah, I mean, I just think about how deeply insecure of a country that you must be, that it's like you're telling them that they can't celebrate to see their loved ones returned, and they try to frame it as if like, oh, they're celebrating these terrorists like and their crimes and stuff. It's so obvious what they're doing, and I think it just lends to the fact that they're an illegitimate fake settler colony, and they're deeply insecure at every facet in every aspect, and they will have to defame and mischaracterize anything to do with the Palestinians. They're just not deserving of humanity because they're Palestinian is basically what they tell us. So I'm not surprised by all this.
They say that we can't have Palestinians celebrating terrorists. You guys realize that the people who they was deeming as innocent, like these hostages that Hamas had, these people many of them was IDF, people who literally murder Palestinians, people who are occupying their land. They are criminals. My position, I don't know if the international community accepts this. I believe every single adult Israeli is a criminal. You're a criminal occupier. Not the children, they are human children, because children can't consent to being occupied.
Sure.
But every single human adult in Israel, except minus a few, they have to serve the IDF. There are occupiers who served a genocidal army versus the Palestinian hostages that Israel took in, where many of them are children who they haven't even been formally charged. Whenever you hear the media talk about this, it's always hilarious, Rathbone, because they will talk about these hostage exchange where it's always like extremely one-sided because Israel kidnaps way more Palestinians than vice versa. So they will say, oh my God, it's amazing. We have 10 Israelis finally being released from Palestinian torture dungeons while Israel's going to release 100 Palestinians. I'm like, what was that? Israel's going to release 100 Palestinians.
Yeah.
And 10?
It doesn't even get reported. I mean, it's just completely silenced in Western media. The other side to this story where you have the Palestinian prisoners being released. Did you see that insane clip? I think it was the BBC where she said talking about a released sausage from the Gaza Strip, and she was saying, "Oh, he was kidnapped from his tank during a battle."
Oh yeah, I see those.
The mental gymnastics that they have to go to avoid stating the obvious.
They say stuff like, "My sweet child was taken from me." Then you look into it as a 35-year-old IDF soldier.
Exactly.
Like they're so like unbelievably shameless in how they dehumanize the Palestinians.
Yeah, I think if you get kidnapped from a tank, it's like kind of a tiny bit your fault,
I don't think you're the victim there, man.
Yeah, I don't think you could say.
Meanwhile, there are Palestinian children who are sniped by the IDF. You had mosques that was raided by IDF way before October 7th. And seeing the IDF assault their family members, seeing their mothers, their husbands, the fathers, their cousins, everyone around them being harassed by IDF. So you have a situation where Palestinian children would curse at the IDF. Because that's obviously what you do. Have you guys been at any protest against the police state where you see what we say to our police forces? Now imagine you're a victim of apartheid and you have these IDF scum who's occupying your land, killing your people. Of course you're going to be upset about that. So you will have a Palestinian 12-year-old who will curse at the IDF, and then they will call this 12-year-old Palestinian a terrorist because they yelled curse words at the IDF. And I'm not joking. This is literally why they detained Palestinian children before. And they have no trial date. They are starved, and they are often beaten in detention. But meanwhile, the only thing that the Western media covers are these Israeli hostages that Hamas had that comes out looking healthy as fuck. They look fit, and they look pretty good considering that they was living under a blockade. Compare that to Palestinians who had limbs literally missing. I'm gonna show you guys this one. I'm trying to find the one with guy who had his eye gouged out. But you have Palestinian hostages that are coming back with no fucking limbs. Yeah, guys. Rathbone, you have anything you want to add?
No. I mean, this I've heard about this too. I haven't seen this picture, but yeah, they're coming back amputated, and I don't know how they're eating food in the Gaza Strip and coming back so healthy, but obviously they're being well taken care of, and it makes sense when you have no power, you're trying to bargain the one thing that you do have to create leverage so that you can get your demands met. And so why would they want to starve these hostages? That's their one bargaining chip. But I find the whole thing really funny, considering that the IDF has a formal policy to kill all of their hostages or people that were taken, by Hamas, because they don't want that to be used against them later on. They'll have to make concessions to Hamas, and they don't want to do that. So, the whole idea of them they're caring about their hostages is just a complete farce.
I think this is a good time. If you're watching on the main RBN YouTube channel, make sure you guys switch over to the Nick Cruse channel. We're going to end the RBN YouTube segment here, but we also still streaming on a lot of websites. The main thing is we want to diversify. So we also be live on Rumble. I'm even on Kick, Twitch. I'm on X. I think that's my biggest platform, X. So make sure you guys switch over. I'm going to end the RBN stream here. And this is what I've been referring to. Very serious statement. Gaza Health Ministry Director. Initial observations of the Palestinian bodies handed over by Israel show signs or evidence of torture, binding, dissection, and that some bodies were emptied and stuffed with cotton. So they harvest the organs of Palestinians and send them back with cotton. Can you imagine the nonstop Western media hysterics if Hamas or any organization done this? It's insanity. And even on the during this ceasefire, just to show you guys how barbaric this society is, this is the video that's spreading everywhere. In order to block aid flowing to Gaza, you have the Israelis that are literally using their children as human shields. Look at this.
אין שום סיבה בעולם שאנחנו נעביר סיוע לחמאס. זהו. אין סיבה. אם חמאס מפר את ההסכם, אנחנו...
I mean, you gotta laugh. I just, because it's so depraved, ridiculous. There's a video of another settler. She's doing the same thing. I mean, she's got her group of settlers. I forgot there's some rabid faction. I forgot what their names were, but she's got a backpack on. And it's like a kitty backpack. She's got like her 2-year-old. She's taken with her to go intervene and intercept these aid trucks that are trying to deliver food to kids. And she even tells the guy that's like interviewing her, and she's like, I could have stayed home, but this is just too important. He's like, did you have to bring your kids to this? Like, she's like, I could have stayed home. Yeah, I could have just fucked off and not really done anything. I could have just let the food go to Gaza, but this is just too important. I have to do this. It's just insane.
They're a death code.
Yeah.
What happens when you're told you're a God-chosen people your entire life? You have international immunity to your crimes, and you legitimately believe that anyone who is not part of your clan whether it's Judaism, Zionism, whatever satanic cult you're a part of, they legitimately believe that you're lesser humans.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. So what happens to a culture that is this straight outright evil? This is what naturally occurs. You get these insane scenes where they have genocidal aerobics. Like this is how psychotic these Israeli people are. Have you seen this, Rathbone?
I haven't seen this.
I'm gonna show you guys this. So we're trying to have fun tonight. It's Friday, so
Dude, what the?
We're gonna show you. That reaction is essentially my reaction to every single video I see coming out of Israel. So they are literally working out while chanting genocidal slogans.
Right. It permeates every aspect of their culture, every activity that they do. It's just they have to be settler colonists, like at every turn.
Dude, you can't write this evil, bro. Like this is why I don't fuck with fiction no more, bro. I don't watch movies. I don't give a fuck. Bro, fiction can't fuck with this.
No,
like,
you're right. That's so true. One of my favorite things to do is to just watch videos like this, but also ones where they interview these settlers. Because you were saying like there's such a cult, you know, they're so like, and it's true. Like it's obvious that they've been fed this their entire lives. It's all they've ever known. They talk to other people that feel that they're just Jewish supremacists. It's all they see. It's all they hear. It's all they've ever learned. So when you get them in front of like people that are of the world, of a different part of the world, they just sound so myopic, so just out of touch, tone deaf. Like I don't even think they see it, you know. And it's like you try to show it to them, but they're like above being shamed. And I think it goes back to what you're saying. It's a religious thing. When you got that ideology, that sickness in your brain, like you will justify anything.
Like, bro, people don't talk about enough how there are a lot of people who cancel me because I started criticizing Judaism. Like they take these kids from a young age, and people get mad at me for saying it, but bro, I heard this from anti-Zionist Jews. You guys told me this. How many times have you guys heard from anti-Zionist Jews that they was taught from a young age that they was better? So an entire culture of people is brainwashing their children from the day they're born that they have the right to this land and they can kill anyone in order to claim their destiny towards it. And we're not allowed to make that critique because we understand as leftists, as Marxists, that Zionism is a system of imperialism that relies on Muslim Zionist collaboration and Christian Zionists, which is the largest funder. But that does not separate the cultural critique that many people are afraid of. You can acknowledge that the struggle against Zionism isn't about religion, isn't about culture, while also looking at Judaism and what the fuck they're doing. Like, hey man, that shit is crazy. Teaching your children that they're better than people is crazy.
It's a fringe Bronze Age religion, and it's crazy how relevant it still is. I mean, if you think about it, if you just go by the numbers, it's pretty astonishing. There's like 15 million Jewish people in the world. It's about 0.2% of the world population, and yet it's overrepresented in our public institutions, you know, that affect all of us. So, you know, I fully, you know, I put it to people like this, like I fully support making the distinction between Zionism and Judaism, but I don't think that Jews are somehow above being joked about. They're not there's not special. They're not the special victims unit. They're not somehow different from other religions or more special. If I can joke about my Christianity and growing up a Catholic or something, I feel like, you know, growing up Jewish or you know, making Jew jokes, making Christian jokes, that's all fair game. You know, I just reject the preciousness, especially when there's this genocidal death cult that's doing it in the name of Judaism, dressing it up in all this Judaism, Jewish aesthetic, if you will. And I want to ridicule that. I want to defile that preciousness. I hate that. You know, I don't consider religion to be that precious.
Yeah, and we need humor as a tool to tear it down.
Yeah,
and it's it's disgusting to me how much the United States left have been obsessed with protecting Jewish feelings. And I'm saying this as someone who had viral tweets where everyone was like, rah, Nick is amazing. You know what I said? I said, fuck the black church. I put out one of the most insane tweets, and I was shocked. Yeah. You guys know I don't give a fuck if people get upset what I say. I say what I want, and I'll let the domino fall. I sent out this tweet expecting heat. Then I put out this tweet, bro. Everyone cheered. Everyone, I tweeted like 2,000, 3,000 likes. So I can share on the black church. I explain how the black church sold us out, how black Christianity doles us and allows us to accept the shot. Like, bro, I went hard on the black conservatives that are bought. Like,
and you should.
But no one had any problems with me doing that.
Right.
So I can say fuck the black church. You can have these Jewish supremacists say fuck Islam all day, but the second you say, hey man, I think something's wrong with Judaism, I would for everyone on the mainstream left, and this nigga Nick, he went anti-Semitic on us, man.
Yeah, you're actually touching on a really good point that you're showing. I do this too, just to push the buttons and to reveal to people, because the people that pipe up about anti-Semitism, you're showing us the double standard. Thank you, because we live in a fucking Islamophobic world. If anything, we have senators pushing Islamophobia. We're wiping out an entire civilization based on hatred of Muslims. Is a large part of that. I mean, there's more to it, of course, but that it seems to be that's the mainstream acceptable thing. But the moment that you joke about Jews, all bets are off. It's like I can't get on with that. I'll never understand it.
Yeah, and I will never accept it. I accepted the fact that I'm unhireable. Like, I won't ever have a job at Toyota or Honda again. I used to work at Lexus a bit selling cars before I was a citizen journalist. Oh, that shit, those days are over. Like those the days of me ever having. I had a job where I used to build printers. I like making stuff in my hands, which is why I'm jealous of the Chinese proletariat. I want a strong industrial American work class. Like, I would love to quit YouTube and go back to like building printer cartridges. That shit was great work. I was laid off. Company went over. I was laid off. That was like 10 years ago, bro. I would never had a job I like that much. I like building shit with my hands. I think most people want that as well, and that's the job I had before and I love. So but let's get back to the video.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think this is hilarious because they're like, Israelis are so hateful. They innovated and created genocidal aerobics. Like, what the fuck?
Genocidal aerobics. That's a good way of putting it.
Genocidal aerobics. Like, usually they say motivational shit. This is the motivational shit.
Yeah, and that's their greatest gift, really. When you think about it, it's the destruction. It's the destruction of another civilization. That's the Israeli contribution to humanity. Thank you, and they show it to us. It's imbued in every part of their culture, and they're all reservists. They're all conscripted. They're all just waiting to join the IDF, or they've already served. There's, like you were saying, there's no innocence there. Except for the children, of course.
Yeah, this is the official defense, because this same society this is the society that engaged in mass protest in order to give their soldiers the right to rape Palestinians to death. You want to know what they said officially to defend IDF soldiers' right to rape? They said IDF clients was acting in self-defense. Remember that video where that Palestinian man was raped to death by a metal rod? They said they did that in an act of self-defense.
Yeah, well, the Israelis are capable of graping in self-defense, apparently. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that. That was a self-preservation act.
Another thing that Zionists are obsessed with is dumbing down humanity. Like, obviously, we don't accept their bullshit. Like, their claims of anti-Semitism, their claims that everyone is a Moss. You guys realize they were doing this on purpose because they purposely want to dumb humanity down, and we cannot allow that to happen. That's why we must mock and condemn them. Mm-hmm. One more thing I want to cover on this part of the segment is this is the story that widely went around how Greta Thunberg. This exposes Western feminism in a nutshell. I have a hotspot video I just released on this, where Greta Thunberg was stripped naked. Mm-hmm. They took selfies with her. They beat her, starved her, and as they're doing this to one of the most well-recognized activists in the world, one of the most famous Swedes, where are the feminists? Where are the liberal-style, Democrat-voting feminists who, we can't support the Palestinians because they are rapists? Where are they at right now? I haven't seen no big, prominent feminists come out and condemn Israel for this as they sexually assault Greta Thunberg in one of the most horrific ways. And one more thing I want to add, I want your take on this, and this is the important part. Where is Sweden? Greta Thunberg is one of the most well-recognized Swedish people in the world. No exaggeration. Like, she's recognized all over the planet, was accepted and loved by the liberal establishment. And I looked it up. Sweden haven't issued, none of their big public officials released one damn statement condemning Israel in the way they treated Greta Thunberg. Have you been following this flotilla story and how Israel been treating these people?
A little bit. I was just thinking that's a really good point you brought up. I hadn't considered that. Where are all these democratic feminists? But we know that they're I think what you're speaking to is just the double standard in some people and some social groups have a right to be a victim and others do not have the right to be a victim. And it's really disgusting. Go ahead.
I find it disgusting that you still have social democrats who praise Sweden. Like, you still have these people who praise these genocidal, colonial, social democratic entities, while at the same time they will say that Venezuela is a dictatorship. That's the Mamdani style burning. They will say Venezuela is a dictatorship, Cuba is a dictatorship, Russia's authoritarian. Are you ever going to critique the UK, who gone full-fledged Israeli dictatorship? They just completely destroy freedom of speech.
Yeah, Western democracies that can't happen. They're never dictatorships. That's not a thing. So,
and I don't understand why there's not more anger about this, because Greta Thunberg,
she's the liberal.
Israel can do that to her. If Israel can do that to her, can you imagine what they do to the Palestinians all the time? You understand why they engaged in October 7th in the first place?
Right.
They fucked with Greta, fam. If they fuck with Greta, someone who got dapped by Obama, they're going to fuck with everybody. They're gangster as shit. If Sweden is cucked, what did that say? That your governments don't give a fuck about you? You guys are not upset about that? Israel can kidnap you, rape you, and your government won't say the goddamn thing. Because they care so much about preserving their apartheid genocidal colony that they will allow Israel to do whatever they want to their civilians. How is this not treasonous behavior? That I'm like furious, and I'm not even a Swede. if you're a fucking Swede, you should be ready to burn whatever their equivalent of a White House down.
Yeah, I really want to know, like, if we should interview some of these Swedish people, like, on the street. Like, what do they think about this? Like, because that does seem pretty weird. Why isn't there more activism surrounding what happened to Greta? But she's not the story. Yeah,
of course. I'm new, and I think most people understand that she's a perfect example of how it doesn't matter who you are. Like, if you oppose Israel, even if you're as high profile as Greta, people who propped you up, Elizabeth Warren, she didn't say anything. Bernie didn't say anything. Obama didn't say anything. I think that's extremely revealing. I think it's extremely revealing because it shows that the government don't give a fuck about you. They care way more about their genocidal project, which means the government is illegitimate. Any government that is not speaking out harshly against Israel, like Claudia Sheinbaum did for what Israel did to their civilians, they're a completely illegitimate and captured government.
Oh, absolutely. And the flotilla, I mean, I would say that the opposition to this regime, this Israeli regime, like, culturally, we have gotten stronger against it. If you'll remember, in 2010, I believe, or maybe it was 2011, there was a flotilla called the Mavi Marmara that was sent to break the blockade in Gaza, and Israeli commandos rappelled down from gunship helicopters overnight, like, onto the flotilla, and machine gunned and killed activists at that time. I mean, that would be unthinkable to have that happen to the Samud flotilla, because I think it's 2025 now. It's the live streamed iPhone age, and we have famous people on board, that are documenting this. And so it wasn't just one ship; it was a complete flotilla, or a complete fleet. So I think that the opposition is getting stronger, which is nice to see. But I think, much like Jeffrey Epstein, I say this a lot, I don't think Israel is going to survive the internet iPhone age. It's just it's too much. They can't. The genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah, I think that's why they have delved full-fledged into Zio-fascism. The UK, Germany completely cooked. The Trump administration is quickly robbing off free speech rights. I've explained this many times before. The Western democracies, they will love to project the illusion of freedom. They don't want to do this stuff until it's the last resort.
Mm-hmm.
And now Zionism is so weak, they're at the last resort stage, which is a perfect transition to this segment here, because we're at a point right now where the populace of Western societies who live under capitalist dictatorship. So the will of the voters does not reflect in the leadership. That's how we understand that capitalism inherently cannot be a democracy. Because you guys see, my anger is at the Swedish ruling class. Like, if you ask the ordinary Swedish person, the same way you've seen general strikes in Italy, the same way you've seen people in France tear up their cities, the same way you see people in the UK upset, you see the masses who have been rejecting Israel. In fact, the United States has been behind on this, but there is not reflected in policy. Why? Because us theory-reading Marxists, we understand that capitalism is inherently, it cannot be democracy. You can't have that. You'll be ruled by some form of capitalist dictatorship. I think the modern form of capitalist dictatorship is shown and it is expressed in the form of Zionism. Like, maybe capitalist dictatorships can form culturally in a lot of different ways, but when you look at who has the power, who has the resources, with the number one priority, the colonization of the Middle East, I think the primary structure and backbone of modern capitalist dictatorship is rooted within the capitalist structure, within the Zionist structure. I should say the Zio-fascist structure. Let me know in the chat if you guys are feeling this analogy in what I'm saying here. But this is why I believe this should be our number one priority. This is why I believe ultimately the Palestinian resistance accepted the ceasefire, knowing that the ceasefire was full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I explained this at the time. They did that because we have never seen the amount of international support for Palestinian statehood like this before. We have never seen the amount of international pressure against Israel before. We never seen Western leaders come out in support of a Palestinian state. So I believe, and obviously I can't read their minds, but this is my guess. My guess is that the Palestinian resistance needs a rest that they deserve. They deserve a rest. And now the Palestinian people is hoping that we do our part in destroying Zionism from within. Because you can't destroy this gigantic empire with just rabid resistance forces. You need help from the inside. And because we've never seen an empire like this before. Do you understand what I'm saying? Makes sense for Rathbone? I don't know. I got
1,000%. I mean, I love it because you're coming from a Marxist perspective. And I say this a lot too, that Zionism is suffering a cultural death. And the cultural death is going to precede the economic death. We were just listening to an Israeli economist yesterday give an interview telling us that Israel is basically collapsing economically. It's now what he refers to as a zombie economy, and it's still going, but there's no support for it. There's no people. 1.5 million plus have fled Israel. There's no tourism coming into Israel these days, and it's not hard to see why that is. I think I'd be surprised if, by 2030, if it's still around. I mean, honestly, it's speed running through its extinction burst right now as we speak. And I think you also talk about how you were kind of touching on this point about how it's really the economy that is going into this. It would not materially take place if there was not a supply chain of genocide making it possible. And as destructive as a genocide is, I think there's exponentially more creative and organizational power that goes into facilitating a complete depraved, absolute decimating destruction of an entire civilization. I just think that's an interesting contradiction there. The fact that there's so much creative energy behind this to something so destructive. And that's really where it starts. If Israel didn't get the F-35s, if they didn't get the Javelin missiles, if they didn't get all these weapons and all this funding, it wouldn't happen. They materially could not carry it out. So it falls on us. It's really our fault, I think. And when I say our, it's the class distinction, and obviously it's the United States ruling class, of course, but it's the corporate capture of our government.
Yeah, and I believe that's the calculation that the resistance has made. They done their part. Now they realize that like the global consensus on this issue is so dramatically different than it was 2 years ago to this day. You know what I mean? So I think they now are more reliant on the populace in the West, that they've seen protests for their cause. They've seen people not only supportive of a two-state solution, but even more radical positions like the one I believe, that I don't believe legitimately that Israel has the right to exist. I think they're leaning on that as they rebuild at the same time. Obviously, I think they're smarter. They know that Israel is going to continue their campaign in Gaza, and I believe they're ready for it, guys. I don't believe in infantizing the resistance. I think they know what they're doing. They're doing the best they can, fighting an impossible mission. Because I love history too, but you guys realize that there's never been a people that had to fight what we're fighting right now. Like, when have we ever seen an international mob like this, a coalition of the ruling class who have these international lines? We got NATO. We have this entire Zionist entity. We have billionaires and group chats. Wait, we can study French Revolution, Russian Revolution, Cuban Revolution. We can study all the revolutions, all the fuck we want, but no one ever fought what the fuck we fighting right now, guys.
Yeah,
no one. And we got to brainstorm. We got to use Marshall's analysis. We got to do everything we can to figure out how we're going to stop these people. But I think you want to chime in, Rathbone. I promise you, I'm going to get to this segment soon. Rathbone, fun to riff with you. Anything you want to add before I actually dive into this segment?
No, go for it. I'm loving it. Yeah.
So the point I'm making is that the tide is turning in the West. That's the setup I was going with. Even diehard Zionist Democrats are realizing where the tide are turning. And AIPAC in particular have gotten so toxic that people like Seth Moulton is now putting out statements saying that they were going to return AIPAC donations. Have you seen this?
No, in fact, I've never heard it. I was trying to read the tweet, and then it's Seth.
I'll read it for you. This is the tweet by Seth Moulton. Sorry, I assumed you saw it. I'm going to read it for you guys. I am returning AIPAC donations and refusing to accept any donations or support from them. The FEC filings I made yesterday reflects that we are returning donations. So you guys want to know what's happening? These Democrats are being called out during their town halls. How many footage have we covered? I've seen it all the time where Democrats are calling it like, hey, man, you taking this AIPAC money. What is this? What the fuck is this about? Even normies and fam, I've been covering this ever since I started as a citizen journalist 6 years ago. I have never seen ordinary Americans even reference AIPAC before. Now it's a large part of the conversation to the point where genocidal Zionists like Seth Moulton is openly rejecting them. And my initial response to this was, you still supported genocide, man. We're not letting you off this easily, and we shouldn't let them off this easily. But shouldn't we also take this W? I'm going to take this W because we have created a political culture where AIPAC and being connected to Zionist donors is so toxic that centrist Democrats are walking back from it. And I want you to respond to this because AIPAC did not handle it well. AIPAC had a full-fledged fucking meltdown after being rejected publicly by one of their Democrats, Seth Moulton. This is their tweet, and Rathbone, you can react to this. Seth Moulton is abandoning his friends to grab a headline. Bro, you can hear the tears rolling down their face as they are typing this out, capitulating to the extremes rather than standing on conviction for genocide and corruption.
Yeah, right.
That's one hell of a pitch. His statement comes after years of him repeatedly asking for our endorsement, and it's a clear message to AIPAC members in Massachusetts and millions of pro-Israel Democrats nationwide that he rejects their support and will not stand for them. So I explained this before. Like, AIPAC is a collection, and I believe it's 3 million donors. A lot of them Jewish, a lot of them evangelical. Rathbone. They don't donate to mutual aid. They don't donate to food banks. They don't do anything to actually help Americans. Their number one priority is to pool their resources in order to. Oh, I think they said 5 million here. I should just keep reading. They said 5 million members. I did a fact check. I think they only got 3 million donors. I think they're lying here, actually. But these people are what I would describe as treasonous. Traitors of the highest order. Are you feeling me on that, Rathbone? What are your thoughts on this?
1000%. I mean, AIPAC is floundering right now. And I just recently, I think in response to all the backlash that they've received over the past 2 years, now that they've been a part of the public conscience, they've been, dredged up and everything's out in the open. They've released these ad campaigns or these advertisements. And they're saying, we're getting such bad press. I mean, it'd be funny to watch that, but they're basically trying to come to their own defense. And they're like, we're not a foreign lobbying group. Okay, we just advocate for Israel. It's not the same thing. I promise. Like you say, the tears. But I also want to say that the Mossad is very shifty and shady, and they love setting up shell corporations and flowing dark money through different, seemingly innocuous names and entities. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've already got some sort of backup. Like, okay, we can't be going to AIPAC anymore. Maybe we create a new entity.
100%. 100%. You read my mind, Rathbone, because I don't even have to say it. Do I have to say it to my Arabian audience that this guy is obviously full of shit and this guy is panicking? Like, they see the polls, man. They read the polls more than any of us do. They see the amount of Democrat voters, even those fucking centrist, class warfare waging white liberal wine moms who hate Medicare for all. They despise the idea of a minimum wage increase. People, you gotta know these fucking suburbanite liberal Democrats. I tell people that, like, they're the Pete Buttigieg voters. They're the people who unironically voted for Michael Bloomberg. And like, these are the people that we cannot reach. We gotta wage class war against. Even they, man, even they are like, hey man, I don't fuck with AIPAC. Like, I want normal corruption. I want the arms dealers. I don't want this fucking Israeli corruption. I want the arms dealers and the insurance companies to make money on my politicians, not Israelis. Like, they're losing even the most fucking shameless wine mobs in the world, man. That's how bad it is. So don't think that they're doing this out of some sort of principle. They're doing this because they realize which way the tides are turning, and they're still taking Zionist money from J Street. From a lot of, like, AIPAC is just one mechanism.
Exactly.
There are, like, they will call you anti-Semite for saying this. I was called an anti-Semite for saying this, but George Soros. Soros is an AIPAC. You guys know George Soros gave more money than AIPAC did the last election. George Soros spent $128 million during the. Actually, I don't know what his general election total was. This is the 2022 number. Actually, I'm actually curious where he spent the last election, because I remember I covered this a long time ago. So he's a diehard Zionist, diehard Jewish Zionist supremacist. So not only do you have AIPAC, you got these other random Jewish supremacist billionaires who are donating to these people. So don't let these politicians wipe their hand clean of genocide by simply saying, oh, I don't support AIPAC no more. So Seth Moulton was the smartest among them because he was the first one. He'd be like, hey, man, I see which way the tides are shifting. I might want to run for president one day. I don't want to be associated with AIPAC. You want to know who didn't have that wherewithal?
Oh, God. This clown.
Gavin Newsom. So, bro, I don't think we have time to cover the Cory Booker clip. But, bro, these Democrats are being clipped on interviews left and right. They're getting destroyed by the most normie Democrat podcast hosts, because the normie Democrat podcast hosts are like, hey, man, can you explain AIPAC to me? Like this guy, this black guy who interviewed him, he's on MSNBC all the time. He is the biggest shit-lived black guy. He's one of the biggest shit-lived that you would see. Like he's a black guy that they trust on corporate media just to let you know how much of a sellout he is.
That's why he's doing the interview. Yeah.
Even this MSNBC guy was like, "Hey man, this AIPAC shit is crazy." So let me show the video. I stopped talking about it. I want to get your I don't know if you've seen this clip or not, but I'll play it. I'll get your reaction.
Interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, babe. Interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
It's interesting. I mean,
like I had to stop it because so you got to see how the biggest normies in the Democratic Party, even they are speaking out against this. But sir, you was a supporter of Kamala Harris. I know you guys don't know these people like I do because I be watching these people like hawks. This guy was a supporter of Kamala Harris.
Right.
Someone who literally married her AIPAC handler.
Yeah.
But
That's
what
right,
does it say that things changed? Things could possibly change. It's fast. Sorry, Rathbone. Do you want to try?
No, you're good. It's like it goes back to class analysis, like we're talking about. It's capitalism. You know, as long as we leave the people in charge, they're going to find a new mechanism to utilize. And I think also it's a capitalist trope to always bad apple a certain, either it's a candidate, you know, you have the rotating villain theory.
Yeah.
And here we can apply that to lobbying groups. Like you're saying, like, yeah, it's AIPAC, but it's like, oh, there's a whole slew of them. And they're like, look, I'm not going to look, AIPAC's too toxic. It's too radioactive. Let's dump it. So you got politicians openly dumping it, but they're going to refuse the AIPAC donations and then take the JPAC donations, you know?
Exactly. And I thought Gavin Newsom was supposed to be a good politician. Like, if you're a good politician, you're supposed to have the ability to think quickly on your feet, right? Like, this answer is a pure panic answer. Because, remember, he's being interviewed by a guy. I know you guys don't know him. I do. I see this guy all the time in MSNBC clips. This guy is shit libby as fuck, guys. There's a reason why Gavin Newsom agreed to go on the show. So, Gavin Newsom, I believe, was legitimately caught off guard by this question. So then, instead of having a smooth, like, immediate rebuttal, he was like, I've never been asked about this before. Interesting. I've never been asked about this before.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's the problem? That you never been asked about AIPAC influence? Anyway, I need to stop spoiling the clip. Let me play more of it because I think this clip is gold.
Interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC. And it's interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC.
Interesting.
In years, which is interesting.
Gee, I wonder why.
Not relevant to.
Exactly. That's the point I was making. Like, isn't that something that we should analyze why you should have been asked about AIPAC? Something that I've been covering for 6 years now because I always thought it was crazy. Like, what do you mean we got these people raising money to lobby for a foreign? What the fuck are you talking about?
It's interesting how interesting that I find it to be that they find it so interesting. So interesting.
So he was caught off guard so much, and he actually so fucking garbage. You realize none of these people you see in the ruling class are actually capable. They are promoted to the position. Like Gavin Newsom, he come from generational wealth. Like he was set up by a family to be in the position that he's in right now. They are groomed by the establishment. They were actually extremely unspectacular people, and I can't emphasize that they're not intelligent. They're not as spontaneous as you think, because you would think that someone who is good enough as a politician to become governor of one of the biggest economies in the world would be a fast on his feet and think his way out of problems. No, the only thing interesting. I've never been asked about AIPAC before. You guys see how it doesn't actually take any talent? That's the point I'm getting at. There's no meritocracy. This is why I take doctorate degrees. I revoke doctorate degrees because the institutionalized training, bourgeoisie, intellectual, politics, all that shit is nonsense. Anyway, let's get back to the video because it's funny. Because you can see how little charisma this man has. And it's important to understand that this guy is bad at politics. And the reason why I'm making this argument is because I want to stress to my members of the working class, my proletarians, that we do not have a democracy. Like, if this is the best, California has how many people? Millions of people. And this is your best? The person who becomes governor? Get the fuck out of here. This guy is not even a good politician. I see him all the time. He fucking cringe. Like, have you guys seen Chuck Schumer? Is that a good politician? Have you guys seen Nancy Pelosi? Horrific. Like compare those people to Putin, who you would never see in an interview flustered like this. Compare it to actual real statesmen like Xi Jinping, Nicolas Maduro. Like compare it to real, like they're clowns. And I make this point to people all the time because I don't want you to think that people are smart. They are put here by the ruling class, and whenever they face a small bit of pushback on their ideology, they completely fold. What happened when Ro Khanna, someone who has a doctorate degree, came on RBN? I had him fumbling like a clown, stuttering over every question. I revoked his doctorate degree. These people are not this spectacular as you think they are. But that's the end of it right here. Let's play the video. Hopefully you guys get my point I was making there.
Oh yeah, it's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC, and it's interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting. Why did I say that? Not relevant to my day-to-day life.
Okay,
which is just interesting.
Listen,
it's interesting you say that. JPAC perhaps more, but AIPAC less and less.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is just interesting.
What's interesting about it?
That it's just interesting as you bring up AIPAC that it hasn't been part of. I'm just reflecting quite openly and honestly. Hasn't been part of the day-to-day.
Yeah. The only reason why I ask is because with that, what I'm talking about is lobbying in and of itself.
How uncomfortable this shit live is at asking these. He realized, like, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to get Gavin Newsom like this, but he didn't. He underestimated how bad Gavin Newsom was. He thought if he asked Gavin Newsom this question, that Gavin would have a great answer to it, and he was like, oh shit.
Like he just dropped his IQ points. Like Gavin, like had brain damage, and he's like, oh, I have brain damage too now. That was bizarre. I thought we were I thought you kept rewinding and playing this, but no, he just kept saying interesting over and over, like he was having a stroke or something.
Yeah, his brain literally fried.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's a tough question, but you guys see how when you get scripted questions, these people are so unremarkable that any question that goes off script, their brain fries. I thought Gavin Newsom was a slick talker. Like this, if you listen to liberal media, they're like, Gavin Newsom, he's a natural political talent. No, he's the fuck he's not. He can't. Can you imagine Gavin Newsom on RBN or being interviewed by Rathbone? I would dismantle this man. Yeah. But he's the best of California. Man, capitalism really dumbs our society down, doesn't it? So for Gavin Newsom, that he doesn't think about AIPAC, has nothing to do with them. How convenient is that?
Yeah.
And another reason why you know Gavin Newsom is a bad politician, because he said, I'm being honest with you guys, man. Honestly, man, I promise you, man, I never thought about this. No, everyone who knows psychology knows that whenever someone say, believe me, I promise you I'm being honest, it's lying. I don't know if you guys caught that in the clip. I might have to go back to it. But he's like, I promise you, honest to God. Let's see if I can find the part where he said that. That's the number one tell that you're lying.
Yeah.
Here it is. I'll just play that quick part again. Here it is.
Right, openly and honestly, hasn't been part of the day-to-day.
I've been open and honest. I've been honest, man. I've been honest. I'm not lying to you, bro. I mean, honest. I'm spitting real. Whenever someone says that, I promise you they're lying. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. If someone say, honest to God, bro, they about to tell you the biggest lie that you ever heard in your life. So Gavin Newsom, this guy who's saying he has never been influenced by AIPAC, is a diehard Zionist who is now signing legislation that will force anti-Semitism training on teachers in California, which essentially amounts to them not being able to criticize Israel. This is a long story. I got sum up quickly because I've been covering this story for a long time. How you had Jewish supremacists going after teachers unions because teacher unions kicked out and they banned the ADL. I did hotspot videos on this. If you'll follow RBN, you see my coverage on this. So you want to know who backed up the Zionists in their attack of the teacher union? Gavin Newsom. Because now Gavin Newsom is smearing teachers as being anti-Semitic because they refuse to teach Zionist Israeli brainwashing. So in 2028, Rathbone, you're going to have J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom pinned to the American people who's going to crack down on free speech the most on behalf of Israel. That's what the 2028 election is going to be about. Any takes, Rathbone?
I'm just thinking maybe he's like unwittingly telling us the truth. Maybe he's like, I don't think about AIPAC because there's so many other Zionist lobbying groups that are more relevant. Like I take money from all these other guys. Why don't you talk about them? I don't know.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point. He's like, bro, you know how corrupt I am? You're bringing up one.
AIPAC's
That's actually funny. He's like, nigga, AIPAC is just one small slice in the pie, bro. You're not going to ask about oil and gas. You're not going to ask about any of that stuff.
Right. You know those
funny
memes, you know those memes that show like how much they I want to know how much money has he taken from AIPAC. I'm sure it's been memed to death, but it'd be interesting to find that out. But
I'm sure we can.
I should have looked it up. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. No, we chilling. We having. I think this is a very enjoyable conversation. Where is the AIPAC? Usually you can find it pretty clear. I'm gonna see how much he's taking. I actually can't find it quickly. He's another AIPAC war, just like Kamala Harris is. That's why it's funny that interviewer. I don't know this. Maybe that's a new revelation from that guy. Maybe he just now realized that how corrupting AIPAC has been to his party. Like that's like the position many Democrats have. Like, I think you're destroying my party. But go ahead, Rathbone.
They're trying to distance. I mean, it's obvious that they're trying to distance themselves from AIPAC. I've seen this play before. You know, they always try to bad apple that it's just Netanyahu. Oh, we got to get Netanyahu. No, it's not just AIPAC. And maybe he's kind of telling us the truth there, albeit very ignorantly.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, man. That's a good point I didn't consider before. That he was like, "What are you talking? AIPAC is just one small." Like he was legitimately, he like, bro, you guys are actually still far away from the real.
You're like 5 years behind, man. We're moving on.
That's actually funny as hell, man. And now here's some more Democrats who are not handling this moment well. Kamala Harris having a full-fledged meltdown, and bro, I've been in combat sports. I've been in martial arts. I've been in street fights and stuff. I know someone who is bucking at someone, bro. Look, this is Kamala Harris bucking at her, bro. Kamala wanted to throw hands. Like, I wanted to play without audio because I wanted you to see her body language.
Yeah.
Here's the video in full. I've never seen Kamala Harris this mad before. You can tell that she had enough of this shit. Dude. But she don't realize that this is the rest of her life. Look at how Kamala Harris was ready to fucking swing on her.
Let
me play the audio.
Right-wing war criminal!
Sorry, what was that, Rathbone?
No, I was just saying they don't deserve a moment of rest. I'm glad that they're heckling her.
Let's play the video. I'll get you.
Figure out who you are soon enough.
Kamala Harris, you are a right-wing war criminal! You are a right-wing... You funded genocide! 461 days! You shot 355 times during your administration! You lost the election because you would rather be a Republican than a Democrat! You lost because it's your fault! We have 4 years of Trump because of your 107 days! You are a war criminal! You sold out the youth! You sold out the climate!
Is that dude, that's that guy from that's funny as hell.
Shame on you! This is all your fault! This is your fault! We have Trump because this is your fault!
Big shouts to that person, right? Man, dude, that's fantastic. Got Kamala ready to buck at her, bro. Look at this.
Pretty quick in that. She was ready to compose.
Fucking furious, bro.
Look at that frame.
That's someone who realized that Joe Biden got the last laugh. Like, I never thought that we were going to see this again because you guys don't study history. For a long time, the position of vice president was considered a career ender. Like, in old school mobster ways, you will have someone offer someone the vice presidency to essentially end their career. But those days, actually, that's like more old school politics. That hasn't been relevant for a very long time. But we have seen it in real time today, where Kamala Harris' political career was ended the second that Joe Biden picked her as vice president, because she thought that this vice president, I'm gonna wipe my hands clean from this. Nah, fam, this is gonna follow you for the rest of your life. And this Kamala Harris realizing that every single future book deal and book tour that she's gonna do, every single campaign is gonna be met with this. And your political career was ended by Joe Biden. I think that was some gangster shit. Joe Biden heard Kamala Harris call him a racist at the first debate. And he's like, man, as soon as I win this race, I'm going to end her fucking career. Sorry, anyone to add Rathbone?
She has such contempt for us, and it's
Yeah,
so, that's what I noticed so much. I just always think back to the I'm speaking moment when she condescended her audience that was doing, a similar thing here, heckling her for supporting the genocide. And I love to see, we come up on her, in her book tour, a year later, and she's even more doubling down. She's just more defiant. Now she's ready to fight because she's no longer holding the office of vice president.
Bro, who advises her? Because it's clear that their strategy, which I will never understand why they thought this was a good strategy, they're trying to recreate the girl boss moment.
Mm-hmm.
The moment where a very small percentage, I mean, maybe like 5% of the U.S. population saw Kamala Harris say, hey, I'm speaking. And they were like, remember they made T-shirts out of it? They were like, yeah, this Kamala Harris is a girl boss. That clearly didn't work. So Kamala Harris started this book tour knowing that people were going to interrupt her. And Kamala responds this way because she is trying to get another I'm speaking moment. So what does it say about these out-of-touch liberals? Do they think that this is a good look? They think the way you respond to proletarian anger is dismissing them, showing anger and contempt at them, which shows that they are deeply out of touch and that they have no similar class interest to us. They just want us to bend to their will. But anyway, I want to get to our last story because we running a little bit long. I want to get to our last short story. We'll wrap up after this segment.
Okay.
Great having you on, Rathbone. We
man.
big all day. But this is the last thing I want to get your thoughts on here. I'll get your thoughts on this because this is the protest that happened this week. The No Kings rally.
Yeah. I've been seeing posts about this today. The No Kings.
They're having this rally that's supposed to be against Donald Trump, a Trump anti-corruption rally. And you guys know I gave a speech with Shama Swan and Worker Strike Back this weekend. And I was talking to Shama. We was hanging out for a bit, and she was explaining how she was about to speak at one of the No Kings rallies. And then they quickly pulled her invite because she realized that she was going to bring up Gaza. So they wouldn't allow her to speak, not only because she was going to bring up Gaza, because she's not a Democrat. She was a Democrat. She's an independent challenging a Democrat. So when you hear that, that's how you know that this protest is complete and utter nonsense. But not only is it complete and utter nonsense, this is quite literally a pro-war rally.
Yeah, right.
What? This is a pro-war rally. Look, I want your reaction to this. I'm not sure if you've seen this or not. They put out this instructional on what to wear, why we wear yellow in historical context. The Hong Kong protesters. The CIA funded the Hong Kong protest.
Yeah, exactly.
But the biggest tell out of this, and I'll skip to this part because this is the biggest part of it. They think we gotta wear yellow to represent Eastern Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. The Nazis,
movement,
the Azov battalions. Yeah,
it's a pro-Azov, pro-neo-Nazi rally.
It's pro-NATO, pro-CIA, astroturfed, goy slop. That's what that is.
Like, bro, like the mind of the average Democrat is completely cooked, bro.
Yeah,
they're not. This is how they choose to resist Donald Trump.
It's Team Red and Team Blue genocide. It's all
by
just
choosing yellow.
Yeah,
we align ourselves with this historical context. The historical context of neo-Nazis in Ukraine burning ethnic Russians alive.
Mm-hmm.
The tradition of the Ukrainian government shelling ethnic Russians in Odessa and Luhansk. Is that the tradition you guys are following?
Precisely, Nick.
I actually think they're being a little bit too honest here because you want to know what the Ukrainian regime also did? They banned the right to collective bargaining. They banned the right for people to unionize.
Yeah.
So if you're ethnic Russian and you live in Eastern Ukraine, you have long ties to Russia and the Soviet fucking Union, maybe living in a state that is banning the right to collective organizing, that bans socialist parties, will make you want to leave the country to declare independence. This is why they want to be part of Russia, because they see Ukraine delving into a full-fledged fascist state. Because what was the first thing that Hitler and the Nazis did? The first thing that Hitler and the Nazis did, they went after the communists in the working class movements and ban socialist parties and collective organizing. So the first thing the Ukrainian regime does is also ban collective organizing, oppositional media, and oppositional parties. So when Democrats say they're fighting for this Ukrainian regime, they kind of telling the truth on themselves, aren't they?
Oh,
Showing their
absolutely.
class war tendency. And here's the people who are sponsoring the event. I'll get you in here. Here's Max Blumenthal. Home of the Brave, a group of neocons like Bill Kristol, ex-FBI officials, and wealthy GOP lobbyists is kicking in $1 million to promote No Kings and steer it to the center. Steer it to the pro-war center right. So this is these are the people that are sponsoring this No King rally,
Oh
and
my
this is
God.
the No Kings rally that the entire Bernie Sanders left. AOC is promoting it. Bernie Sanders promoting it. Zionist, like the progressive left, they are all in for the No Kings rally supported by neocons. But sorry, Rathbone, I know you want to chime in.
No,
anything you want to add?
The yellow ribbon is also the symbol for Israeli Zionist. Like, isn't that a symbol for Zionism? It's basically like the release the sausages. That's what you see in a lot of Twitter accounts. You see the little yellow ribbon, the dead giveaway.
Yeah.
I don't know if they chose that to, the yellow. I thought the symbol for this No Kings rally was a yellow ribbon as well. I know they chose like the yellow color and everything, but yeah, it's a pro-war rally. Like, what are they protesting here? Like,
it's a prep rally. It's essentially a glorified prep rally. Like, they have no demands.
Yeah.
We all showing up and let you know we don't like Trump. It's very political. Like, this is liberalism in a nutshell, performative politics that doesn't amount to anything.
Yep.
In fact, actually, I think it's worse than that. I actually think, to correct myself, it amounts to manufacturing consent among the American populace for war. We got hands off Ukraine. We got to support Ukraine in a never-ending war against Russia. It's an anti-communist rally. Because I see people that say that, like, liberals are having signs that said Trump is the next Stalin. What the guy
Harris even said that Trump is a communist dictator. Remember Trump when he was campaigning against Kamala briefly? He called her a communist as well. Like, it's like the I mean, it's just, you can't make this shit up. The Republicans and the Democrats are both pearl clutching and calling each other communists. That's what we have in America. That's our politics.
Bro, I'm telling you guys, man, anti-communism destroyed the working class.
Anti-communism is fascism.
I'm trying to find it. There was a video. I didn't watch it. I saw the title of it. I'm desperately trying to find it. I want to show you guys. Ari Melber of MSNBC, he put out a video that said that Donald Trump is embracing Stalinism because Donald Trump is charging John Bolton.
I wish Donald Trump would embrace Stalinism, if only.
Dude, I really hope they did. I'm like desperately looking for it right now, but I don't think I can find it. Bro, it was like, I saw that title, dog. Like, bro, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen. The anti-communism in the Democratic Party is so fucking strong. And anti-communism destroyed the working class. Never forget. Here's someone else who is endorsing. You got Hillary Clinton. Like, bro, even if I was for protests, let's say I had mild Trump derangement syndrome, and I was like, yeah, I don't care if I don't support all the assets. I will go out and protest anyway. The second I see Hillary Clinton send out a tweet in support, I'm not going.
No, fuck that.
Like, bro, if you guys organize a protest, if any of our RBN friends, let's say Rathbone, you and your homies organize a protest, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna show support to Rathbone. I'm gonna go out to your protest. You guys on some, and then Hillary Clinton quote tweets you. I'm like, bro, I'm not going. I probably won't follow you.
Yeah, I would deserve it. Okay, and I would completely understand, because at that point I'd be co-opted and bought off. So,
man, It's great to be back, my friends. It was a great show, Rathbone. We definitely got to do this more often.
I'd love to.
I love. We don't have time to cover your debate, but make sure you guys check out his debate with Misfit Patriot. They were discussing Israel Palestine. You do great work with your short videos and pretty much dismantling these Zionist talking points. So I love the work that you do. We definitely got to have you on much more. This was a very fun conversation. Anything else you want to shout out, promote, any last words that you have, Rathbone?
Thank you. I've been following you as well for years now, and it's great to finally get to chat with you on your show. And I want to also start having guests on my live stream. I'm on my 3rd YouTube page now, and
they've been going after you, haven't they?
I'm staying put. What's that?
They've been going after you a lot on social media, huh?
Yeah, but I think I'm this the third time is the charm. So so maybe we can have you on sometime as well, and
Dude, that would be a
back and
bang.
forth. Yeah.
I'm definitely anytime, man. I'm definitely be down.
Cool.
We definitely got this again. I think like this was like this hour and a half flew by. I had to cut one of the segments out that we had planned. I was gonna cover some Ukraine. Essentially in a nutshell, Donald Trump governing just like Joe Biden. You guys know the fucking story. Promised tomahawks. We get to that next week. Not a big deal. But we cover that sometime next week. It's good to be back. I took some time to travel to Seattle, meet some comrades, gave a speech. Make sure you guys support. I think it's worth supporting anyone who is challenging the Zionist duopoly. Shama's base, I loved like being around her. Like she has a wealth of knowledge and class struggle. She actually developed victories for a working class. So that's what I was doing this last weekend. You guys will gotta watch the speech that I gave. I'll be back on Monday. I'll be back on Wednesday. Make sure you guys check out Rathbone. Well, anything else you want to add?
You gave a speech, you said, in Seattle?
Yeah, dude. I think it was criminally undercovered. Criminally undercover, but
we'll watch.
I like to play dress up.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on my channel. It's on my
Okay,
channel.
cool. Yeah, we'll check it out.
It's been criminally undercovered, but I think it was. I had a fun time. You guys know I love giving speeches. I think I'm way better at that than I am live streaming. Live streaming is kind of awkward, man, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think it was a great time. So that's why I only had one stream this week, but I'll be back next week with more content. I'm looking forward to joining your stream and have you back on again, Rathbone. Thank you guys for watching. I am monetized now, but it will be a while before I get paid. So make sure you guys support us on Patreon as I go through the transition after RBN was essentially nuked on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you support Rathbone as well. Have a great weekend, my friends.